emphasis on the defending.
We're not getting any agreement here.
It's Ben. No, but Ben White gets forward.
He does,
he's
but
always
he
up
was,
there in the
but he was a defender.
But then he gets back and
he
that's
was
why. Yeah, but right.
He was an actual centre back. I'm not going to have many wins in this, right?
Listen,
So I want Vicario.
Vicario.
Thank you. See, I will give you things that I believe are true.
This video is sponsored by StateMate, the UK's leading social football betting app. If you're tired of the hassle of sharing bets with your friends, then StateMate is for you.
StateMate makes football betting more social by bringing mates together with features like bet builders, chat and share, and the ability to instantly copy a friend's bet with just a tap.
Their new group bet feature makes group access a breeze, allowing you to create, share, discuss, and pay for bets with your friends. You can also follow updates in real time, as well as collect your winnings, all in the same app. Sign up now using the code AFTV5 for 2 free £5 group bets, plus an additional free £5 bet for a limited time only until the 10th of May.
Click the link below or scan the QR code on screen to download the StakeMate app today. The app is currently only available on iOS, but don't worry, Android users, there will be a version for you very soon.
Thanks again to StateMate. Users are 18 or over and in the UK. Please gamble responsibly and visit begambleaware.org. Hi everyone, my name is Laurie and welcome along to another AFTV Superfan debate. This Sunday, the 28th of April, sees a massive game. North London derby, North London rivals, Arsenal going to Tottenham, arguably the biggest game of the season so far. We've got in the house representatives of both those big clubs. To my left, we've got Robbie representing Arsenal. To my right, we've got Abbi representing Tottenham.
Oh, go with the Sonny. Want the Sonny or the dart?
Trossard, yeah?
Not really. Doesn't hit the same.
But you know what? By any standards, this is a massive game, but it's all the more so given that Arsenal are going for the title, Tottenham are going for top 4, so everything's on the line.
They're not going for top 4, they're going to stop us. That's all they're not in for no top 4.
So
well, they've got an added incentive, but you know, there's still a lot to play for.
Thank you. It's nice when people are neutral.
And I'm going to be neutral and say, listen, 2 quality teams, right? But if we're thinking about a combined 11,
yes, peak.
Which of the players get in the combined 11? And I don't think it's as straightforward as it may seem to some people.
That's not a bad shout. Come on, Vicario, not a bad shout.
Let's go. Let's start with the goalkeeper position, obviously up for grabs. Yeah,
Raya.
I'm going Vicario for me.
I'm going. You know what? Earlier on in the season, Vicario started really, really well.
He was also
he started better than Raya did actually. Yeah. Right? He started really, really well, but then, as the season started to go along, man.
But wouldn't you say that's also because of the defence in front of him?
The analysts started to see a little weakness in him. When there's a little set piece and that crowd him up a bit thing, and then he's not. Am I wrong?
I'll tell you what. Let's break it down. So we know about the components of a keeper. Yeah. Let's start with shot stopping. Who's the best shot stopper?
I think Vicario is really good at shot stopping. For me, personally.
If I'm being honest, shot stopping, I'll probably give Vicario the edge.
Okay. Commanding the box.
Raya, yeah. Okay, Raya.
Playing out with the ball at their feet.
Raya.
I don't think Vicario's poor at that.
He's not poor at that, but I think
the playing out for Tottenham isn't really the problem. It's just the defending because of how high the line is. So I'm not really putting that as a thing on him.
Hey, hold on a minute. Wait a minute. Raya's won the Golden Glove already.
Well,
he said
the clean sheet.
He's looking like
he's already won the Golden Glove.
You also have to, this is what I'm saying.
It's Raya.
To be a good goalkeeper and to win the Golden Glove, it's also dependent on what is in front of you.
To be fair to Abbi, she did say that with the defence that Arsenal's got, it's more likely that
Raya would be performing better.
No, but even when you look at the components you just said, I think that Raya is better on more of those components than Vicario. Listen,
I'm not going to have many wins in this, right?
Listen,
so I want Vicario.
I'm going to be honest, right? He's been impressive. For his first season in the Premier League, he's been impressive. But how could you go against Raya? I mean, all the clean sheets and...
Because I ain't getting nothing. I'm not getting anything.
I don't care. It's nothing to do with me.
Well, I'm having Vicario in mine.
Well, I'm having Raya in mine.
Cool, we'll do 2 separate graphics.
People in the comments, we want to know what you guys think.
Oh, well, that's fair, isn't it? That's fair, Laurie.
Hey, you better get some of your people along, innit?
No, but to be fair, they're both very good keepers, and I can see why you have said.
Thank you. I'm not saying David Raya has been poor. He's definitely improved 100%. But I'm keeping Vicario. I've been really impressed with Vicario this season.
All right. Okay, right. So we started.
Saved us a lot at times this year as well.
Right, let's start with right back. The outfield players.
Benny Blanco. Pedro Porro.
Benny Blanco. Pedro Porro is, again, he's impressed me. He's
Been
good,
very
but
good.
is he as good as Ben White defensively?
Yeah,
I
make
think-
the case for that.
For me, he's probably top 3 players for me. My top 3 players for Spurs this season is Porro, Mickey van der Ven, and Vicario, which is funny considering we concede so many that I would pick 2 that are at the back. But for me, Porro is really integral to getting forward, the way that we build up play, attacking kind of with the inverted fullbacks.
He's shown some defensive liabilities at times.
Yeah, but I also, again, I feel like it's also part of the system. He's good at tracking back. He's not going to be the most offensively astute because he's a modern day fullback who loves to get forward with the
Ben
ball.
White.
But he was a defender.
No, but Ben White gets forward.
He does,
He's
but
always
he
up
was,
there in attack
but he
with
was
Saka.
a defender.
But then he gets back and
He
that's
was
why. Yeah, but right.
he was an actual centre back.
Yeah, but he's a right back. So
Yeah, but he
right
was
back,
a defender. He
So,
was
but
a
right
centre
backs-
back.
your job
that
as a
was
right back-
literally his job to defend.
Yeah, but your job as a right
That
back is to
isn't-
defend
yeah, but as a
and get forward.
As a modern
and he does
fullback,
both of those better.
So you're saying Ben White's better than Trent?
Huh?
Are you saying that?
I'm not saying he's better
Okay,
than Trent.
because we're talking about modern
I'm
fullbacks.
saying-
I'm talking about
some
modern
people will
fullback.
argue that this season he's been better than Trent. I
Is
know
that
Trent's
just
been injured.
people that argue that on AFTV?
Right?
Or
No,
like
he's a
the
better
wider-
he's a better defender than Trent. But listen, I like Trent Alexander-Arnold. I'll probably say he's better. But we're not talking about.
We're
Trent
not. We're
Alexander.
talking about Porro.
We're talking about
who is
Porro,
more.
who's nowhere near Trent.
He's nowhere near Trent. But I'm saying he's more
and
aligned.
he's nowhere near Ben White
He's more
either.
aligned to the style that Trent Alexander-Arnold is. More
What?
of that.
When
What?
you
Just
know-
attacking. There's
So,
less
surprise,
emphasis on the
surprise,
defending.
we're not getting any agreement here.
It's
so.
Ben White, man.
I'm
She
not having
knows
Ben.
it. Benny
Ben-
Blanco.
I'm not
man.
having Ben
She said
Okay.
Benny Blanco straight away.
Okay,
Yeah, 'cause
we're still not getting any
Benny
agreement.
Blanco.
Benny
Because I
Blanco.
can't believe you call Ben White
Benny Blanco from the Bronx.
It's honestly ridiculous.
See, he ain't
Okay,
got no-
let's
he ain't got no
move to the
cool name for
centre
Porro.
backs.
So hold on, wait, Ben White,
centre
right?
back.
No, Porro.
Come on, man.
Porro.
Abby.
I'm going to stay as neutral as I can, but
Alright.
I'm listening to both
Alright.
the arguments. We've not had agreement on any of the
No,
positions
I'll
so
start
far.
to get serious with you.
Yeah. But right centre back.
Saliba.
Yeah, Saliba.
Oh, right. Wow.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to put Van der Ven for
No, look, I think Mickey is honestly.
I really did think you were going to
No.
try and push the Van der Ven.
No, because
Is that because of the Newcastle game then?
No, it's nothing to do with that. It's because when I look at a centre-back partnership, for me, Saliba and Gabriel, you can't lie. Like the stats are there. You know, they have been ridiculously good in terms of a partnership and a pairing, and you know, you're defensively sound. Like, thank you. See, I will give you things that I believe are true. But
because we know we're supposed to get this.
Mickey van der Ven, right, has been a great player. I'm not talking about the Newcastle
The
game.
quickest in the league, apparently.
You can all comment, you know, Spun der Ven, whatever, Slip of Ven, whatever you want to comment. But like, he had one bad game, okay? He's been really, really good for Tottenham, and he will
has been
be.
good. He has
He's
been
going to
good.
grow into probably one of the best centre backs. Probably
How old is he?
young, 21. I think 21.
21
22?
too.
21.
He's good,
He's young. He's got a massive ceiling, really high potential. Obviously, great in terms of pace. My only worry is about the hamstrings. You know how many injuries.
I think you lot put too much on him though, with that
Well,
high line.
but that's
'Cause
exactly
it's
it.
so dependent upon
100%
his.
of him tracking
Yeah,
back
yeah.
and him making those recovery runs, which again, this is why he's picked up a couple injuries, and I don't want to see them keep happening. But for me, I think he's definitely in with a shout. I'm not writing Mickey off.
we're going
being that,
Saliba.
but I can't argue against.
So
Saliba.
for the first time we got some consensus.
Yeah, I'm not
the
gonna
two
argue
centre
that.
backs are going to be
I'll give you
Saliba and Gabriel.
I'll give you Gabriel over Romero because for me Romero is still too much of a liability at times. I think he had improved earlier on the season with having Mickey van der Ven next to him, but again, like too many head loss moments for me. Sometimes still a little bit too rash. When I look at us in terms of like set pieces or bodies in the box, I don't necessarily feel his presence all the time there. And what else I would say about Gabriel is that I've said this to you before. I felt like maybe over seasons gone past, he's maybe been a weak point or a weak spot in kind of your back line. And I feel like this season that's changed. I feel like whether or not that's from being next to Saliba or not, he's massively stepped up for me. I feel like any mistakes he did have, I'm not really seeing them as much anymore. So for me, I'm giving it to him as well for the fact that he's also massively improved.
So,
That's fair enough.
okay, moving on then to the left back position.
I mean, obviously, I'm going to go for Destiny, but it's...
No, but he's not playing this week.
Oh, we're doing this based on who's fit? Or we're just...
No.
okay.
We're assuming that he's, you know.
I think Destiny...
I think it's only right that we should.
Destiny Udogie has been very, very good.
He has
I
been
think,
good.
I think this season.
Bit of a surprise package. What he's
Yeah,
done well.
there are still aspects of his game where he's definitely learning. Like he's super young. Again, first, there's a lot of players in my team that it's their
Well, it's
first
his
season.
first season in the
You know, when I look,
Premiership.
also you have to look at that. Bar Romero. I know Porro come in last year, but again, he wasn't really playing much under the Conte system when he come in halfway through. But if I look at my back line, you know, that's all their first season, the Prem, bar Romero. So, you know, to have a new keeper, a new centre-back, a new right-back and a new left-back, like, obviously there's going to be some teething issues. But I think that Porro and I also think Udogie have been really good. And they are, as I said earlier...
Ben
really
White
good.
definitely on that side, but I will give her a doggy. I think he's had a very good season. Like she says, he does
That's
have
very
some...
magnanimous.
Make sure
He
you're
does have
writing
some
down my
lapses.
ones as well. I want the
He
second
does-
No,
graphic.
I'm writing them down.
I want my graphic as well, thank you.
He does have some lapses where, you know what I mean? But I guess you can put a lot of them down to him being very young. But I do like him. I think he's a good player. I do think he's a good player. And, you know, I can't really like, you know, Zinchenko's had a bit of a dodgy season this year.
Tomiyasu
has been injured. Kivior's fitted in, but,
Not well.
you know, yeah,
Sorry.
he's done well.
I don't think he has done that well.
No, he has done well.
In
What
that
are you talking
position, I
about?
don't think he has done that well.
He has.
I disagree.
Well, look at the amount of clean sheets we've kept,
Okay,
right?
but I also watched him against-
You have to remember, again, you know, at the risk of, you know, compromising my neutrality, Kivior, he's playing out of position.
He's filling
Absolutely,
in.
he's a centre-back.
And he's done well
He-
because look at the amount of clean sheets we've kept away from
Yeah,
him.
I
And
also
he's been
saw-
played in most of those games.
But we have some
I saw him
consensus.
get mashed up in that Bayern game.
We've got some consensus in the back line.
You weren't even playing against them type of calibre of players.
Sorry,
you know?
I was just there watching.
Okay, let's move on to the midfield. We're
Ops.
assuming...
Undercover ops.
Are we assuming a midfield trio?
Hey, the midfield's sorted, man.
Because it's... Yeah? I know you do like to...
Declan Rice.
4-2-3-1.
Yeah, I'm
and
not going to argue on Declan
Trio,
Rice.
yeah? Okay, let's
Martin
go.
Odegaard
Yeah, I'm not going to argue on that.
and Thomas Partey. You know what?
Sorry?
All right, he's missed a lot of games.
I'm not having Thomas Partey.
Yeah,
in
you're
there.
right. He's missed a
We're
lot
not
of
having
games.
that in there.
Jorginho.
No, I feel like if we're being fair, I feel like we can have Rice and Odegaard. I'm not having Partey in there, like absolutely not.
Just because he's been in. If he hadn't been injured,
He's
he'd
been
be
injured
in there.
literally your whole season.
All right, but
Okay.
Jorginho's been excellent.
I think that's a fair comment too.
I'm not having Partey in there. Jorginho, you can make an argument for it. I mean, I'm not going to say Basuma because again, Basuma started
I know
off
you've
really,
not been
really
very
well.
impressed
But
with him,
well,
have
I was. This is why I'm so disappointed, right? Because I feel like there is a player there, but what I need from a 6, I'm not getting from a 6. Like I had it the first 7-8 games. Maybe we'll take it up to the Chelsea game 10, right? I think discipline has been a real issue as well. 2 red cards this season.
The one against Luton was
The one
poor,
against,
wasn't
but again, since he come back from the Luton game, and we're going back time, he's just not been how he was. He's a massive
So who do you put
confidence-based
in that
player.
midfielder?
I love Sarr personally. Like Sarr for me, I think is a real.
Yeah, but he's an in and out player.
Well,
in the
he's
team. We don't
in
see
and
him
out
start every
lately.
week.
He's in and out lately, but I feel
Lots
like
of energy.
we're
I'll give him
toying
that.
around with the midfield at the minute. I don't know. Like I love Bentancur as well, but again, I'm not going to say
He's
put him
injured.
in
You do
because
get Bentancur. You know what I mean? That's
can
the
I
same
finish
with
my
that party.
sentence? I said I can't put him in because he hasn't
right.
played the whole season. He's been injured. He's been in and out, long-term injuries. But when he's come back, he's done really well. I love Sarr. I love the fact that he's got the energy. He's got the legs. Also pops up with a goal or two, which I don't really get from many of my other midfielders, to be fair. So I would shout for that. I know you're not going to have that. You're going to say Jorginho, but
Would
I'm
you give him
definitely take Partey off the table for me.
Sarr, I think he's a good player. He's a good young player. She's right. He's box to box. He's full of energy. He is a good player.
Carries the ball really well.
He is a good player. But Jorginho's had a good season, right?
butt was coming.
I'm just thinking of the balance there. Like if you have a Jorginho, Rice, Odegaard. But you know what? Just to be fair,
Thank
in
you.
fairness,
In
I'll
the
give
interest of fairness.
in the
you're
interest
gonna-
of fairness, I'm going to make her have Sarr.
Thank you. That's really nice of you.
I'm trying to be nice, man.
Thank you.
Okay, so
Just
we're
'cause it's you.
We're getting
If
there.
it's
We're
Toby
getting,
or someone else, it'd still be sticking Jorginho being there.
Yeah, but Toby and Phil will still be going on back. They'll say Romero's got to be in there. They'll never let it die.
I'll tell
Which
you,
I rate.
if it was about dress sense, Basuma definitely would. Have you seen some of the clothes that
Drip.
guy wears?
Got the drip.
Yeah, did you see him close his room? Did you see he was carrying his bags though? With all the clothes in it, expressions. Yeah.
Tell you what, since he saw X, he ain't been playing the same.
Yeah, ever since he saw expressions, he's been rubbish. You know what I mean?
Oh man, that guy's dress sense, man.
I
But anyway,
love Sarr.
let's move in further up the pitch.
Can't believe we've got Sarr in there.
Front line, the front three.
Want to start?
Saka on the right hand side.
Okay, I'm not going to argue with that.
Son on the left hand side.
Okay, nice, thank you.
Through the middle.
Richarlison, no?
Richarlison, no, you Havertz.
Richarlison ain't been fit for a long.
Richarlison's been poor this season again.
No, it weren't.
He had a little spell when he was all right, but he's
I think
not been
it was
consistent.
like 9 games and 11
He had a
goals
little
or something.
spell, and you were there saying,
Yeah, but he's been injured. He's been injured again. He's been injured for actually a really long time. So I wouldn't argue putting him in.
He has been injured.
He was injured for ages.
But to me,
and he's just come back from another
Son,
injury.
Can't argue with that. Saka, can't argue with that. And down that middle, it's either Havertz or Trossard.
That's up to you. I mean, so for us, obviously, Son plays down the middle, so I'm happy to put him out on the left. Brennan Johnson's massively improved for me on the right. I mean, again, it was quite a big price tag, but it's a big step up. And this is not me digging out Forest fans, but it's a big step up coming from Forest to come into Spurs, like it is. Yes, it is. In terms of the quality and the expectation of the football, like it's a big step up.
And also, let's be honest,
New
Saka
style.
is he's pretty established in that position.
Yeah, he's pretty established.
He's always going to.
But I wouldn't argue with putting.
But we
Saka,
know the left and right.
Yeah, we know the left and right. But
down the middle.
Down the middle is the thing, because obviously for us, we do play Son down there. I can't argue for Kulusevski.
So
and I can't
let's
argue
look at
for
the
Brennan.
options. You got for Arsenal, you'll have Jesus, Havertz.
Jesus, no,
Trossard.
I feel like not Jesus.
For Tottenham, what options are you?
No, well, that's the thing. Son plays down the middle for us, or Richarlison, but Richarlison's been injured for big parts of the season. When he has played, he's done really well, in my opinion. But I'm not going to put him in there because of the injury.
But I thought you said you'd be happy for him to go out on the left.
No, Son on the left.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you can't put him through the middle.
You know what, right? For me, for balance-wise,
I can put
Havertz down the
Richarlison.
middle. I'd have Havertz down the middle because he's played that false number 9 role brilliantly this season. He's scored goals. He's had assists.
You're not putting Trossard on, though.
Do you know what? Because Trossard plays predominantly on the left, right? But Havertz gives a more balance down the middle. You know what I mean? So I'd have Havertz down the middle, Son on the left, and
it's
Saka
really
on the right.
interesting to me that you haven't even mentioned Martinelli.
Because he's
not having a great season. To be fair,
you know what? He started the season okay. Then he had a great patch where he's playing really, really well. Then he got injured as well, and then since he's come back from his injury, he hasn't really found his feet. I think because he's not really been getting in the team because Trossard's been playing so well. Yeah. You know, and even Jesus has been coming back, and like literally everybody's back as well. So he's found it difficult to nail down that regular spot. He's still a great player, but it's coming back from injury now. There's players ahead of him at the moment, so you'd have to put Son there. If I'm being 100% honest, you have to, and Saka, and then I'd put Havertz down the middle because I think it'd be a better balance.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to argue with that. I mean, again, I don't really have a player I can put down there other than Son, and then I wouldn't. I'm not going to ask to.
What about Harry Kane? You're not carrying on like he still played for you the other day.
I'll carry the torch.
What I would say, given the extent of the rivalry, you've actually got consensus on 9 other places.
That's not bad.
Which is more than I thought. So, in goal, we couldn't decide on Raya and Vicario.
Yeah.
We had there was the discussion between Ben White and Porro.
You can call him Benny, but if you prefer to call him Benny Blanco.
Blanco's there, man.
But we did reach consensus in the middle two, Saliba and Gabriel. We did reach consensus on the left back, Udogie. Moving into the midfield, we reached consensus on Declan Rice, Odegaard and Sarr. And up front, we managed to reach consensus on Saka on the right, Son on the left, Havertz through the middle.
Do you know what? It's not a bad team, that.
It's not a bad team.
That's a very good team.
It's not a bad team.
Might win the league if you had that.
What one player would you have from Arsenal? If you could have?
I think what I'd need the most is Rice.
Rice.
I need Rice. I need that in midfield. I'd love to have Odegaard. But again, I still feel like I know, like we all know what James Maddison can do, right? It's just the consistency thing, and I think it's a lot of the injuries. He carries injuries a lot. So I'd say the first half of the season we were kind of seeing Maddison before the Chelsea game, when everything just went to shit after that. But I think prior to that, you were seeing the best of a fully fit James Maddison, and I just think that him still carrying maybe, he can't, like I said, he can't play a 90. So you're just maybe not seeing the best of him at the minute. I'm hoping next season he'll come back refreshed.
He had a lot of injury issues when he was at Leicester.
Yeah, exactly. So I would love to have Odegaard, but I think for Spurs, the midfield is still an area where I feel like we massively need maybe an upgrade or just something more. So for me, I'd take Rice.
Right.
Who would you
In closing, I've got a question for you both.
You'd have
We've got a question for you both.
Okay.
Question for you both in closing, and I'll be interested to see how this one goes. So, both of these guys are in the team. They both captain their respective sides. Son and Odegaard, right? They're both in the combined 11. But who are you going to give the captain's armband to? Let's start with Robbie.
Odegaard. Leads from the front, leads the press, leads by
You
example.
could argue that Son does that as well.
Son more just leads by his ability. He leads by ability. I mean, he has stepped up into the captaincy this season. I've noticed that. He has. You can see him. He's more vocal. He's more. But I just think Odegaard, like, I don't know. I love him as a captain. At first, when he got the captaincy, I was like, Odegaard. I was thinking, Arteta must obviously see something. But you can see on that pitch, he's the captain. You can see, like, even when the chips are down, he's always the first guy pressing and saying to the others, come on. I mean, Odegaard.
Over to Abbi. Last word.
I think
combined 11. Who are you going to give the armband to?
I think that was a pretty fair assessment, actually. Like, I think Son isn't necessarily a natural option for captain, I think, at Spurs. But again, that's because we've got a new young squad. Not really sure where the leadership is. I mean, James Maddison is a vice captain, as is Romero. But I would probably look more, if I look at like maybe who would be a captain in the future, I'd probably say maybe Vicario or Van de Ven. Maybe Vicario because he's super vocal. Son isn't, I think, the most vocal, but he kind of leads because everybody loves him. And look, he loves the club. He's a massive part of Tottenham. And it felt like it was the right move to do. Obviously, Lloris leaving, Harry Kane leaving, who was never actually captain, but which is funny because everyone always thinks he was. So I feel like Son has definitely kind of grown into the role, but maybe I need more, maybe a little bit from a captain, which we haven't had for quite a long time. I never felt that with Lloris. So maybe you see more of it in Odegaard. But I think Son's stepped up for sure. But if you want to give it to Odegaard, you can give it to Odegaard.
There you have it. We've got a great team. We've reached some consensus on 9 of the positions, and we've agreed about the captain. So fair play to.
Isn't it funny how
both.
Sometimes we can get along?
We can. Yeah, maybe it's the host.
Maybe
I've brought that kind of brought that energy to the table.
Listen, we always get along when we're not playing each other.
Yeah,
right?
we do. When we're not playing each other.
Yeah, when we're not playing each other, we get along. But
Yeah.
we're playing each
We're
other.
playing
this
each other.
week.
And I've got to see you again tomorrow.
And I've got to see you, yeah.
But it's all about Sunday. Sunday, 2 o'clock, the 28th of April. Massive, massive game. Let's see what happens. But thanks to Robbie.
Thank you.
Appreciate you very much. Great stuff. Abbi, thank you. Great stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching. It's been a pleasure. Take care. We are out.